Hello ladies and gentlemen, Husky Fry here. Today we are talking about the American Tier 4 cruiser, the Phoenix. Now we're going to be jumping straight into it here and going with the combat capability. The combat capability of this ship is 24,000 hit points compared to the Japanese Tier 4 cruiser, the Kuma, which has 24,200 I believe. Is not too bad compared to the Kuma. Not only that, do we get 10 152mm cannons, which are the same as the St. Louis's ones, apart from we have a quicker fire rate, we do more high explosive damage and more armor piercing damage. We also have more chance to set the target on fire, and we have a range of 12.5 without the upgrade. With the upgrade, I believe it goes up to 13.1, but feel free to correct me on that. Not only that, this ship has a nice secret weapon of torpedoes, which everyone forgets. You have two batteries containing 3 torpedoes, each one located on the port, one located on the starboard side. Compared to the Japanese cruisers, your port can only fire to port, your starboard can only fire to starboard, whereas the Japanese have it so that all torpedoes can fire port or starboard. Now, you only have a max range of 5.5, so you do have to get up close. But what I found with my experience in this ship is that a lot of people forget that some American cruisers do possess torpedoes. So you can get quite a few easy shots, especially against battleships who just continue to go in straight lines, forgetting that you have torpedoes until it's too late. Now, AA on this ship is absolutely pointless. In my entire time, I don't think I shot down more than 13 planes in playing this ship. They're not particularly brilliant, and half the time they don't seem to be working. With a 0.9 kilometer firing range and 2.5 and 2 kilometers, I think a lot of the torpedo bombers can actually fire before my AA had even reacted. Now, one of the best things about this ship is its speed. It does do 35.5 knots, and it will catch, it will catch nearly every ship in the game, apart from a couple of the destroyers, but even at that, it does match the speed of most of them, which is very good if you are going destroyer hunting. Its surface detectability is 13.1 kilometers, which means unupgraded, you will be detected before you can fire your guns. But if I just double check quickly, do believe with the upgrade it takes you up to 13.7, so you can get off the first salvo before being spotted. Its air detectability is 6.7, but at this tier there aren't too many carrier pilots going around, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Right, let's jump straight into a game and show you what it does. So we are on to our first game in the Phoenix. We are on the map Big Race, and it's an encounter map, which is pretty useful. We are playing with my good friend Havoc04, otherwise known as Brendan K1. You can follow him on Twitch and YouTube. He is also starting up. Now this is a tier 5 game, and we've got a Furitaka, a Kong, and what else have they got on there? And a Minakaze in tier 5, they'll be the biggest threats. But we also have a New York, a Kong, and a Minakaze, which is very useful. Now, starting this game, I do feel we started on the wrong side of the map. I feel this top end is more for the battleships. It's big, wide open spaces. It's pretty much open sea. You've got a couple of islands there as cover, but nothing substantial. So I felt that it was a better judgment call for me and Brendan to head down to the more bottom end of the map and use the small rocks and the more mazy area for where we would do most of our game. And it was the right call to start with for me. Brendan gets a bit more punishment than I do, and his game does end quite early on, but in total I feel that it went quite well. I do make a few bad mistakes, not hitting allies or shooting friends with torpedoes, but there are a couple of kills which I just can't resist, putting my ship at risk where I am surrounded, and just run in, drop some torpedoes and run out again. Luckily I managed to survive due to my allies managing to take out certain ships that were probably going to end up killing me. So I do make a couple of rash decisions and try and keep myself alive. No, so we're just moving across the map and passing all of our allies who are currently getting themselves also into position. Now, enemy torpedo planes have been launched along with fighters scouting the area. There are a few ships that we spot on the map, but nothing that is in a threatening section. I haven't been detected yet, and everyone is probably out of my range, and I'm out of their range. So I'm just gonna speed us up a tiny bit here to get us more into when the action starts. Now, as you can see, I am looking at these torpedo planes, and I do fail to see this battleship right ahead of me and decide to go into the side. Now, if some torpedoes were coming in for me or for him, they probably would have hit and ruined this game for us, as they probably would have taken us down to practically no health. And if it was on me, then it probably would have been my luck to hit the ammo rack and finish my game. Now, we are just moving into the bottom end of the map here, where we're starting to use the waves as cover, so I'll just put it back down to normal gamer speed. Now, I'm just scanning for targets, seeing what I can find, and everything is out of range to begin with. And as soon as something comes into range, I believe this Wyoming is the first thing that I fire at. Now, as I'm moving through all of these rocks and cliffs and little bumps and things, it is preventing me to get solid fire on a single target and keep firing on him. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm firing high explosives, and I'm just trying to set anyone I can on fire and pester them and just do a little bit of damage here and there. I'm not solidly focused on a single target as of yet. I'm just trying to do what damage I can to what I can see. Currently, this Wyoming is taking the brunt of my fire, but I do lose him behind that cliff in a second and switch my fire to taking on the Furitaka, who I believe has grounded himself within that rock, and I believe that he actually found one of the little bits of map where if you get stuck in there, your ship spins itself into it and you just cannot get out. Now, I do feel I make a small mistake here. I slow my ship down to 1/4 speed to keep firing on this Furitaka, completely blissfully unaware or thinking that any second an enemy destroyer could just come around the corner and try and do a torpedo salvo, and I would not have a clue it was coming, and I wouldn't be quick enough to get my ship up to speed to avoid these. So I do think it was a mistake, me slowing my ship down. I should have gone down to 3/4 maybe, but kept the speed up just in case of enemy destroyers coming in. Now, the Furitaka is just about to go out of range, so I begin to slowly, well, not slowly, I just speed the ship up and start to reassess the area and see what other ships I can find that I can currently pester. Now, Havoc, or Brendan, has taken a slightly different route to me. He's gone more open, and he's still concentrating fire on that Furitaka, and he has tunnel visioned. Now, everyone does this, me especially. I do it a lot. In the next clip, you'll see me take a salvo of torpedoes. I don't even try and avoid, I'm just too busy trying to get the kill. Now, I've got this smoke screen ahead of me, so I begin to just move my way around, just trying to analyse my next target, and I reacquire the Wyoming that I was shooting at the start of the game, who is currently concentrating his fire onto Brendan, which in a second I believe that he does take a ammo rack hit or a critical damage hit and loses all of his health, which pretty much brings Brendan's game to a close. Now, I am still trying to use this smoke screen as cover, but it is not working. I believe it's dissipated too much, and the Miyogis over there, one of them has decided to switch fire to me. So instead of going out there through the way that I was planning, I decided to go behind this mountain over here and use it as cover and come out at a different angle, maybe a little bit closer to the Wyoming and the Furitaka. Now, as you can see, the smoke screen has gone, and that Miyogi over there is lining up his next shot, which I do believe come in now and take me out. Here they come. Yep, so he managed to, not doesn't take me out, he managed to hit my steering gear, which I repair, knowing that I'm about to go behind this rock, so I'll be hidden from fire for a while. As you can see, there is Brendan's ship just going down into the drink now. He did take another hit from the Miyogi, not the Miyogi, from the Wyoming, which did finish the job. Now, here's one of the sections where I feel that the enemy battleship completely forgot that I had torpedoes. He's a stationary target. I believe he's moving backwards, so it's an easy shot. I fire off 2 torpedoes, catch on fire, but I have got a minute wait on my cooldown. I believe that this was a bad decision. I thought the fire would kill me and that all of these ships would focus fire me, so I decided to initiate the charge and just go for the kills, having no idea that I probably would have survived. So I begin my charge in, which once again I believe was make. I'm putting some shots on the Kuma instead of the Wyoming, hoping that the 2 torpedoes were coming out. As you can see, the Fury Attacker is jammed within that hole. I put 2 more shots into the Wyoming and then begin to turn the ship to get out of here, with the threat of that Miyogi and that Kuma laying down fire on me. And also the enemy Kong is just about to come into range. Luckily I take out the Wyoming, some allies take out the Miyogi with fire damage, and the Kuma gets nailed by torpedoes. So I now believe it's a good time to run. I put 2 more torpedoes just into this Fury Attacker, who is completely dead in the water, to finish him off, and then try and escape, but in doing so I managed to ground myself on this. Luckily I have managed to keep in a little bit of the area where that Kong doesn't appear to be able to see me until I reverse, and more to my luck, all of his salvo managed to miss while I'm in this situation. So as you can see, the Kong is just coming around. He's trying to defend the carry. He knows this side of the map is lost, and he's going to try and do what he can. Here's the incoming salvo. As you can see, luckily for me, all shots miss. His final shots from his rear guns do manage to hit me and set me on fire, just as I've put another fire out. So, knowing that I'm on fire and that we've got this game in the bag, I believe it's another good opportunity where I should just throw the ship at the Kong and go in for the charge. And I believe the Kong actually throws his ship towards me, feeling that I'm not going to kill him and he wants his secondaries to come and start laying down some hurt on me. So as you can see, I am trying to roughly get in between the middle of the Kong and the Langley, so that I can, if I manage to kill the Kong or the Kong dies, I can switch fire to the Langley. Now, the Kong has decided it is going to charge. He's getting me into secondary range, and he believes that he can finish me off. More shots coming in, clipping my torpedoes on the right hand side of my ship. Now, once again, I believe this guy doesn't actually think that I've got torpedoes. I believe he forgets that I have them, and he's in perfect torpedo fire in place. He's in under 2 kilometers. My torpedo's in. There is nothing he can do now apart from wait for the inevitable, which does manage to finish him off. Now, I do switch my target to the Langley. He is one of the last ships on there. I just try and get as much damage in extra as I possibly can, knowing those torpedoes are going to probably finish him. So I just do what I can. I get as many shots in as I can. The more damage the better. I believe I finished this game on 52 hits with 3 fires, 7 torpedoes, 5 floods, 3 destroys, 1 crit damage, and I think, as this is a replay, I don't get to see the after score menu, but I think I got 3,500 XP and 250,000 to 350,000 worth of credits. All in all, for a game on a non-premium account, I believe this to be quite a good result for a tier 4 ship, and especially for a ship that is appears to be so well underarmed and under-healthed. A lot of people do not like this ship and feel that it is not a good ship. So we're going to wait for this Myogi to die, and then we'll be getting straight into the second video. Right, so we are on to the second game of this video. We are on New Dawn on a domination map, and it's a tier 5 battle. Now, let's start the battle and get straight into it, shall we? So, as you can see, we are pretty much central of the map, head straight towards B. Brendan here on my left. Now, to start with, we initially head towards C. I'm just going to speed it up a bit to get us into action a little bit quicker. Now, me and Brendan always go into a formation. You'll see in a minute. He'll do a quick turn and fall into position. I think just beside me or just behind me, one of the two. At the start of every game, we always like to fall into a formation of some kind. Now, we are getting towards the action. Now, as we are heading towards C with the majority, or just under half of our team, we notice that B is not being taken. Now, they have two destroyers which normally rush cap points. As you can see, the one at C has began to rush C, but we notice that nothing is starting to take B. So instead of heading to C and trying to get into the fray with all those, we head towards B and go for the early capture. Now, we've only just been detected, but we do lose it quite early on. I believe the detection is actually the Tenryu, which is detecting us, and when we break line of sight with that, he will no longer be detecting us. So just going to speed it up again a little bit more while we make our way to the capture zone. So the enemy's gone for the early capture. Now, there is something quick that moved into A, whether it's cruiser or not, destroyer, I'm not sure. Now, as I've been detected, I do start putting some shots just to pester and try and set on fire this Wyoming. He's not looking this direction, he's more focused on things that are attacking C. So I keep the fire up until eventually losing him behind that cliff mountain, whatever you would like to call it, just up ahead, and my shots no longer go through. Now, I have lost line of sight and I do quit the fire. But this New York just ahead has now come into range, so I begin aiding my allies that are trying to attack A and just put some more pestering fire going on in this New York, trying to catch him on fire and use his repair ability and then catch him on fire again. I'm not using armor piercing, all I'm doing is trying to pester and put him on fire to give him more problems to worry about, and maybe take some of the fire away from the people attacking A. Now, we have successfully captured B, and noticing that they have two aircraft carriers and the middle of the map looks empty, me and Brendan take the guess that the enemy carriers are going to be within lines 2 and 3. So I begin making my way. Brendan takes a bit more of a wide turn to keep the fire going on the New York. And I notice the St. Louis approaching on my right hand side and begin to look far on that, as I notice an Omaha coming towards me on my left. Seeing that this is a bad situation and that I'm going to get sandwiched between a St. Louis and an Omaha, I decide to slow down and try and give Brendan a chance to catch up, and he begins to put some effective fire in on the St. Louis. I begin to put some fire in, once again just trying to catch him on fire, get him down as soon as possible, and as soon as the Omaha comes into visual range and my guns can clear them rocks, I switch fire and try and take out the Omaha, while Brendan focuses on the St. Louis. Now, the Omaha has come in, I begin trading shots, and he starts off, he's not firing at me, he doesn't notice me, until it is a bit too late. There's also enemy bombers flying around, and as we're getting close to the carrier, they're becoming more of a threat. Now, the Omaha has begun to notice me as I've set him on fire, and is now returning fire. I decide to quickly see if I'm in torp range of him. I line the ship, I get some torpedoes off of him, and then switch to start firing at the St. Louis with another set of torpedoes, which should be happening in a second. I am still engaged with this Omaha, and here it is. I see the St. Louis, I put some torps in the water. I'm trying to take out both to keep my ship in the fray, as I am now sandwiched and the St. Louis has switched fire to me. So there goes the St. Louis. It has taken 3 torpedoes and is going to go down. The Omaha is also has also forgotten and had just ate 2 more of them. Successfully we managed to do this and managed to, from what could have been a bad situation due to teamwork, we have managed to pull it off and are now beginning our pursuit of the enemy carriers. Once again, the thing that saved me in this ship was the use of the torpedoes. If I didn't have them, I imagine I would have gone down during this fight against the St. Louis and the Omaha. I believe that the Omaha would have taken me out, and then the concentrated fire of the St. Louis and the Omaha would have taken out Brendan. Now, as you just saw, I did get hit by the bombers from the carriers. They have now seen us as a threat and begun putting their strikes in us. I put the fire out immediately. I feel that I've got the time to put a fire out and wait for the cooldown before needing it again. Now, knowing that the 2 carriers are going to be behind here because we're following their planes and we're seeing them disappear. An enemy destroyer is attempting to come back and save the day, but he's going to be too late, and he's getting focused fire by a lot of our ships at A. Now, first enemy carrier is coming to the Hosho, is coming to range. I begin opening fire on him, trying to set him on fire. I want to put his deck out of action to stop him getting planes in the air. As soon as the Bogu, I don't know how to pronounce that at all. As soon as he comes into range, I begin switching fire into him. He is the closest target, easiest one to hit, and he's almost stationary. He's only just started moving, so I put torps into him as well. Now, enemy torpedoes have been launched. I am too busy trying to line up this shot and focusing on that I don't really pay much attention to them, and I do take one on the back end of my ship. Now I've got 13 seconds left on my cooldown, and I've just been put on fire. I need that cooldown to hurry up. I put 3 torpedoes on the Hosho, begin switching fire again to the American carrier. Now Brendan does launch a torpedo, which does just go past my bow. He did alert me over TeamSpeak, so I did avoid it quite easily, and he claims the kill for the American carrier. Now my 3 torpedoes all managed to miss the Hosho carrier, but with both of us there, we both begin our concentrated fire on him. I try and get some more torpedoes lined up, but in doing so I feel that I wasted fire, as my torpedoes aren't reloaded even though the icon says that they are. So I feel that I wasted quite a bit of time on doing that. Now the Hosho has begun launching torpedoes. He has fired some against Brendan, and they will all miss. Now, I thought that he launched both torpedo planes here and fired the lot, but as it turns out, one of them groups hasn't, and they do drop some torpedoes. I do attempt to avoid, but it's too late for me, and I would have taken 3 torpedoes straight on, and then the game is ended for me. Right, so this is our final replay. I'm not going to be talking about what's happening in the battle. I'm going to use this last video just to quickly talk about the channel and what's going to be on it, how often things are going to be coming, and everything like that. So I have been thinking about creating a YouTube channel for quite a while now, and have finally got the PC and everything to do it. And also, so has my friend Brendan, who recently got his PC, and we're going to be streaming every night from about 6 o'clock onwards, GMT time. I will be trying to upload YouTube videos daily, but currently, as this isn't my full-time occupation yet, I will probably not be able to do it every day, as it takes a couple of hours to edit and talk over a video. I'll try and upload previous night streams and edit those for daily content, but for the time being I would like to have my goal as daily uploaded content and be streaming daily, but for the time being it will be when I can do it. We'll have a variety of games. I'll be doing ship reviews, I'll be doing tank reviews on World of Tanks and War Thunder when I get a bit better at them. We play League as well, which I will maybe stream. I'm not too sure on YouTube videos. not sure it's my kind of game. I like the occasional game here and there on it, but it's not really my thing. Um, we'll also be putting up some Heroes of the Storm, which is once again very similar to League, not my kind of thing. But other games that I'll be interested in, there's a lot of new releases coming out that I'm interested in, like The Division, the new Star Wars Battlefront. I will be uploading some Battlefield content when I get around to playing it. I'm not too fond of Call of Duty, but I might dabble in it here and there. It will probably be on the stream. Whether or not I put YouTube content on or not, different story. I don't find the videos for Call of Duty overly entertaining. I do play a lot of strategy games. I play Rome Total War, Company of Heroes, things like that. And Company of Heroes, I'm normally joined by my brother, and I'll be streaming and I'll be putting YouTube videos up of those as well. So these aren't just the games that we'll be playing. There will be a big variety of games. There are a lot of things that I want to get around to playing and don't have the time, and I'm trying to find people to play with. Brendan does have very similar interests in me on what games, like World of Warships. He's just starting off War Thunder and also enjoys World of Tanks. He does like League a lot, so he'll probably stream or post videos on League a lot more often than I do. He also does a lot of Hearthstone. It's probably one of his top games currently, and he is rather good. He's quite entertaining to watch. He's very good with the whole numbers game and everything. Once again, Hearthstone, not my kind of thing. I've tried it, but I just find it a bit boring and slow. So, if you're into Hearthstone League, Brendan will be streaming and will be posting those videos on there. Now, both of our channels are not dedicated to one or a handful of games. We will be posting and streaming just generally what we feel like. Current top games that we play will be obviously prioritized a bit more for us, like World of Warships. It's going to be one of the bigger focuses of my stream, and I imagine that it will have most of my content will be World of Warships. I'll probably try and put a Warships video up 3 times a week, if not 4 times, and I'll be streaming it every night along with other games. Weekends we do stream all day Saturday and all day Sunday when we wake up, provided we don't have airsoft on Sundays. We have thought about uploading some airsoft footage, but once again we want to be a bit better at airsoft before we start putting up some videos of it. So there will be airsoft items in the future, and we play at the EAG in Worthing. We hope that you enjoy the videos. If there's any games that you would like to see, or certain footage you would like to see, or ships, then please put them in the comments and we will look at if we can do the video or if the game would interest us. Also, if there's any type of series you would like to see, please also put that in the comment. At the moment I've only got my ship review, this being the first video, but I'm going to try and do a ship review on all the American cruisers, starting from the Phoenix upwards, and then I will be venturing into the other tiers of battleship, carrier, and the different nations. But if there's any ships you would like to see, then please feel free to comment, or any series if you'd like to see our fails, which we have plenty of. The other day Brendan managed to make his ship almost go vertically up a cliff, and we've also got plenty of fails of us shooting each other. We like to start most games by either going into a weird crazy formation and seeing how close we can get, or we like to see if we can skim it off each other's paintwork, and most of the time that results in fires. So if there's anything that you would particularly like to see, or video series, then we're always looking for suggestions. We've had people have asked us on the stream if we're going to be looking at doing Ark at all. That seems to be very popular, and we have looked at it. But Brendan's not into the survival as much, but I am. One of the games that I try and play quite a bit is Space Engineers. That interests me quite a lot. I like to build things and make a design and try and make it functional. So if there's any games that you'd like to see, once again, just chuck on the recommend, or any advice that you can give on you, like having YouTube, what you find entertaining, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, please put it in the comments. Also, if anyone's got any questions, I do want to start doing a video series where I answer as many questions as I can on the for people asking YouTube. And what I'll do is I'll just have videos going on in the background and I'll talk over the top answering your questions. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you next time.